everyone, it's Marianne. Welcome to my Racist Life. This video is dedicated to all the plants I loved before. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, and since it's Valentine's Day weekend, I'm here with a bonus video for you all this week, since it's not just Valentine's Day weekend, but the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before, To All the Boys P.S. I Still Love You, is now out on Netflix. So if you're not familiar with the movie, it's based on a young adult novel series by Jenny Han about this Korean-American girl whose letters to her unrequited crushes accidentally got out, and of course chaos ensues. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I promise you, if you like rom-coms, you would love this books and series. So it's something for you to do this weekend if you are looking for something to do. So for this video, I'm going to share with you 5 plants that I loved before. Well, I do still love them. In fact, I still love them. I'm rooting for them. It's just that we are not in a very good relationship right now. They're just not into me. So let me start with the cacti. So the first one is this cactus. I am not a succulent person, but I've started to get interested in cactus, and so I wanted to try it out. I got this on clearance at Lowe's for $1, so why not try it out? And it's been growing beautifully, and if I could find a picture of a footage of this when it's like fully grown, I'll show it up here so you'll know what this exactly looked like. But this one is my bad because I accidentally knocked this one off while I was, I think, filming one of my videos or cleaning something. And oh, when I was like rearranging my TV, because this was next to my TV, and I dropped it, and the top part got knocked off, which was really upsetting. But I've started to propagate the top that came off, which is this one. So I'm not sure if it would propagate, but I've already seen it starting to form roots. I've been monitoring the progress of this cactus, and I'm probably going to be posting it on my IGTV once I know the propagation has fully taken in. So watch out for that one, and follow me at my Racist Life and Instagram so you will see when I post the IGTV of the propagation of this cacti. So this is the first plant that I loved before. I still do like it, but it is my fault that it got cut off. Has been good to me so far, and I do find that I'm having better luck with cactus as opposed to succulents, but this is just my first cactus, so, and already like effed it up, so who knows. So the second one is this monstera adansonii. I got this monstera adansonii at New York Chinatown. I got this for about $9 because I got a plant for $5 and $3 additional for a cutting, so it was actually about $8. It's not just working out for me. As you can see, the leaves up here, I don't know if the camera is picking up, but it's yellowing. It has experienced a lot of yellowing, and it's actually a lot smaller than it looks now because I cut off a lot of the yellow leaves that it had, and it's just not growing quite well for me. At first I thought it was just adjusting to the colder season, but most of my plants who had a hard time transitioning to the winter has already transitioned and are doing fine, and this one hasn't just fully bounced back yet. The good news about this monstera adansonii is this one is already producing great leaves with huge fenestrations, holes in it. It's just this one, like the main vine. It is growing, and it's growing vines really fast. It's like the 3rd time that I cut this down to the base, and it's already grown this back again. But it has yellowing leaves again, and the fenestrations are not that pronounced in this vine. So in 25 days of Plantmas, I did, or for Vlogmas, I did a repotting video for this monstera adansonii. So if you don't watch it, the link is somewhere up here and also down in the description. So this is the second plant that is not loving me back, or I'm just not treating well. So the monstera adansonii. And the third one is the Maidenhair fern. Maidenhair ferns are not for beginners. I know that when I bought this, but I wanted the challenge, and I think I only got it for like $7.99 from houseplantshop.com. So I got this at the same time I got my Hoya carrii and my staghorn fern. So I was kind of like, you know what, let me just get it. I want the challenge. Let me try taking care of it. But it has always been like this ever since I've gotten it. It experienced a lot of browning, so it's not exactly dying. I know for Maidenhair ferns, it does experience a lot of browning, but it is not aesthetically pleasing as I want it to be. And I don't know if it's just me that's having a problem with it. The plant itself doesn't have a problem, but I know Maidenhair ferns shouldn't have this much browning as well. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but it is in a self-watering system right now. Like, it has this to wick water from the bottom of the pot. So as far as I know, for Maidenhair ferns, I can't let it dry out because once it dries out, it's hard to come back from it. It does need a lot of humidity, and right now it's next to my humidifier with all the other citrus plants that we have, but it's still not really quite improving, so I hope that changes come growing season. But to be honest, this one is faring a lot better than the rabbit's foot fern, which basically lost all its leaves now. So I think this one is, I'm not gonna say it's a total failure, but it's hanging in there. So this is another plant that has been breaking my heart, but I don't know whose quite fault is it. Is it mine? Is it the plants? Or it's just, the way things are. It's just not meant to be. So yeah, that is the third plant. So the next one might be a shock to some people if you've been with me for a while, since this is a plant that I've included in like my top 5 plants, the plant that I would save in apocalypse, and I actually used it for my very first giveaway, which is the string of hearts. Well, this is basically what's left of it now. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Well, I knew what happened with this one. It got heavily infested with mealybugs, and it just came to the point that I know I could like take off the mealybugs on the strings and I could probably save it that way, but I just decided to cut it all off, and I'm propagating some of the strands that are still viable, and let me go get it for you so I can show it to you. So here is like some of the string of hearts that I cut off that are still viable that I am currently propagating. Oops, that one fell off. So I can see some of the roots already forming in them. And the good thing about the string of hearts is they propagate very, very easily. So when actually this happened, I wasn't really that much heartbroken because I was already propagating some of the strings. I just like added some here, like the ones that I was able to save from the mother plant. And you know what? That happens. We can't help it. I know this was one of my prized plants, but I am actually quite surprised I didn't react as bad as I thought that I would when this got mealybugs and had to like chop it all off. But there's some new growth in there, and there's like over here, I don't know if you can see, like it's a very big tuber of the string of hearts. So I don't know. I mean, if it comes back, it comes back. If not, then not. It's not the end of the world. I got this for $7, I believe. Probably $12 including shipping, because this is the first and only plant that I've bought off Etsy, and it was doing pretty good for quite a while. But during the winter season, it did start to struggle for some reason. I did repot it over the winter, and thinking that it was experiencing root rot. It wasn't, but the leaves continued to dry and shrivel up, and the next thing I know, it was experiencing mealybugs. And at that point, with the drying leaves and the pest infestation, I just decided to cut off all the strands that was affected and just save the ones that weren't. So yeah, so this is my string of hearts, what's left of it anyways. So the last one, this is a cutting that I got that I tried to propagate. So I don't feel really that bad since it's a free cutting that I got, but it is a plant that I've been wanting for a long time, which is the Taniki rubber plant. I thought I'll be able to propagate this, but it's just not working out right now. And usually when I propagate in sphagnum moss, I've been very successful. And there's another cutting that I got of a plant that also has a woodier stamp. I did it with sphagnum moss, and that one has taken off beautifully. It has like fully formed roots now. And that was like just from a measly cutting of a very large bush. And this one, I don't know what really happened. I think it's because I didn't really research how to propagate rubber tree properly. I just thought, my usual method of propagating would work for this one, but I guess not. So what's happening right now, as you can see, aside from the leaf burns, because I have this in a south facing window, and it's the over here, it's rotting. And with propagation, it's always a game of will it root or will it rot. So, and this one is kind of like heading on the rotting side instead of the rooting side. So I don't know if I'm still going to be able to save this. Like, this is another cutting that I got. It was actually from the same stem. I cut it out, and this one is just like all rotted up now, and there was a leaf connected to that. It just also like died out. I threw it away, and now I am left with this cutting with the 3 leaves, and this one that's supposed to come out never did. But so I don't know what really am I going to do with this. I'm still going to keep it in the sphagnum moss as long as I can and see what happens. But if you have any tips for me on how I could save this rubber taniki, or what's the better way to propagate this, and maybe I'll still be able to save it, let me know down in the comments, because I would really love to be able to save this rubber tree taniki. So those are the plants I've loved before, and they're plants that I still do love, to be honest. It's just right now we are struggling. We are working out our relationship. We're in couples counseling, and we'll see what is going to happen with these plants. I mean, some of them I'm more optimistic than the others. Like, I'm pretty sure this monstera adansonii, at least this one, because this one is a different plant, it would probably bounce back and produce great plants for me. This one I don't know, because this one would like shoot growth and then turn yellow. So not really know what's going with that. With the Maidenhair fern, it's been like this since the first day I got it. It's always been hovering between dying and living. So I mean, that's how it likes to live. It likes to live dangerously, so whatever. And like I said, with the string of hearts, you know, if it comes back, great. If it doesn't, it's fine. No hard feelings. And with this cactus, I am giving it another chance, or I hope it gives me another chance and let me propagate this one successfully. And if it does, I'll give you an update on my IGTV at My Oasis Life. So yeah, so that's it for this quick short video of all the plants I loved before. And like I said, if you haven't checked out the movie or the books, do check it out. It's great. It's not sponsored by Netflix or the books or the movies. I wish it was. I'm just a huge fan of the books and the movies, and I always like to support diversity in our films, especially Asian and Asian American representation in our media. So I highly recommend watching the movie and or reading the books. I suggest doing both because I promise you, you will enjoy them. But that's it for my video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I hope you subscribe. I come out with houseplant and sustainable lifestyle videos every week. And if you haven't yet, go out check out the videos for me. But until then, I see you, I appreciate you, and have a plentiful day. Bye.
Stay with me, take a chance, baby, roll the dice. Gotta give me some love, cause when I'm with you, I'm in paradise. You know how to make me feel alive. Gotta give me some love now.